Okay, Saturday, 4th of May 2024, so hashtag stack harder. So there's this great Twitter channel that I follow, something like Oliver 13% something or other, and he has this hashtag in his tweets that says stack harder, talking about events that are happening or financial things like that with regards to Bitcoin, whatever else. And he has this hashtag again, stack harder, meaning keep buying, buy harder, buy more, whatever else. Again, first principles of Bitcoin: money you can earn, money you can spend, decentralized, apolitical, with a fixed supply, usual stuff. So by stacking harder, we are owning the world's rarest little, monetary asset, Bitcoin. Now that's interesting by itself. Now, a few months ago, there was that conference in Merida in Portugal, in the Atlantic Ocean, where Michael Saylor talked about how now is the gold rush, the next 10 or so years of owning Bitcoin. And I'm hearing a few things about, there's the corporate event going off, and there's sovereign wealth funds and whoever else, and there was this bank, this European BNP bank in France that recently bought $40,000 worth of the iShares BlackRock ETF. So there was this meme years and years ago, 2016, in those days, where the institutions are coming. The institutions are coming. Okay, now it seems they really are coming. Oh wow. Okay, this bank here, and there was this cow company in Texas, I think, or wherever else, buying and putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And these people and places are stacking stats. So that means then the plebs, the what was the phrase now? The hoi polloi, the people, the retail investors, whoever else, need to be stacking harder, buying more, building their Bitcoin reserve, putting more Bitcoin on their personal balance sheet, going on to a Bitcoin standard, stacking hard. It seems to be the case. More people are understanding the first principles and the benefits of owning Bitcoin and putting it on the balance sheet and using it and deriving and valuing their wealth in it instead of, say, pound, euros or dollars. Okay, very nice. So that means then it's becoming a bit of a vicious competitive cycle to stack harder. We've got a nice little squirrel here. There we are. So stack harder, basically, that's the idea. Starting to feel a little guilty whenever I am not buying any. Oh, there we are. Where's he gone? Not buying any. There he is. Not buying any. Not buying any Bitcoin. Starting to feel a bit guilty about that. I'm thinking, wow, how can I stack harder? Whenever I see his tweets, stack harder, stack harder. That's a good point. Basically, we're competing against the biggest institutions in the world as they are moving into the space and buying more of it. So how can we buy more at a faster rate? Fair enough. Good question worth thinking about. Now, I saw an interesting video this morning, by Plan B, and the stock to flow ratio, whatever else. Now, the stock to flow ratio has got under a bit of criticism, which I don't fully understand, because if you look at the points on the chart where it hits the halvening, it's basically bang on the money. Every other time the price is either under where the chart's supposed to be or above the chart. But on the halvenings, the dates are quite accurate. And he said, and hearsay, he said, she said, they said, whatever, a lot of people are saying this, that it's going to go to 100,000 eventually. $100,000 a coin eventually. Now, as I said before in a previous video, I don't bother with the price predictions because it's immaterial. Anyone can say anything. Is it going to go up here? Is it going to go down there? Whatever else. But it's fun, and it's based on models. It's based on maths, which I always appreciate. And that means that over time, it's going to get harder and harder to stack sats. It's going to get harder and harder to own one Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin, 1/10 of a Bitcoin, 1/100th of a Bitcoin, because it's going to be more and more expensive. So that means that's good and bad. That's good because you've got more purchasing power per coin, which is priceless, which is nice in terms of quality of life, but also at the same time it kind of implies that the whole system, the wheels are falling off the cart, so to speak, and the whole system is falling apart, because the price of Bitcoin is a reflection of the current stability, the current health, let's say, of the global finance. The worse it gets, the stronger Bitcoin gets. That's the whole point of it. That's how it's a hedge against inflation, debasement, and really entropy. But that's another conversation. But it's interesting because over time, it's going to get harder and harder to buy sats. especially if, as I heard there was that issue a week or two ago about unlicensed money transfers in the States, meaning it's going to get harder and harder, technically, or maybe legally, politically, to be buying it, but to be buying more and more Bitcoin. KYC, AML, approved exchanges, whatever else. Okay, fair enough. But, and there's something I wanted to say about that as well. Just forgot. What a shame. But it's going to get harder. Okay. Then it begs the question of, you have all these sats, where are you going to go with them? El Salvador, wherever else. Okay, fine. That's more of a lifestyle choice. But, point still stands. Stack harder. If the institutions really are coming, and things are going to get wilder. Even this dip recently, a few days ago, it lasted like 3 days, 4 days, something like that. It was a dip for ants. So things are speeding up. Things are completely changed now. Years ago, I don't know, a dip would have been serious and people would have been scared about it. Now it's like it's a dip and the market just scoops right in, which is amazing. Just the volume is increasing because more people understand the value proposition. Why would they buy it unless they understand it? Again, as I said before, you're not going to put an allocation of capital greater than your knowledge of something. So if the bank, this BNP bank in France, $40,000 worth of it, they're not going to put that much amount of money unless they have at least $41,000 worth of knowledge. Probably a lot more than that, but bit by bit, day by day, drop by drop. But nonetheless, stack harder. Things are happening, things are changing, and it's going to get harder and harder, politically, technically, because of rules and regulation, and the price. As the price goes up, it's going to get harder and harder to buy these things, or to buy Bitcoin, to be stacking. So, stack harder. Nice little hashtag. Yeah. But otherwise, you will see me tomorrow.